Lecture first, and we will introduce circuit breaker design pattern. Okay, excuse me. Usually in microservices, right, your application not has been part of a single uh, repository or a single server. Your request is floating across the multiple servers, multiple machines, right? Not only one single machine and one single application, right? When there is a request from admin, let's say admin wants to see the reports daily, how many customers are registered newly, uh, what is the deliveries feedback, and how many sellers added, and their feedback, and what about the managers, each manager in their area, how they are showing their results, right? Everything from the admin UI, they wanted to see them as a reports. So admin UI make a call to gateway. Gateway will call to admin service. From here, admin service, if it is doing calls one by one from one service to another service, if the calls is going from one microservice to another service, usually we know we can use simple REST template or Fin client or webhook clients. There are many types of clients to make one service to another service call. So while making such calls from one service to another service, let's say admin is making a call to manager, manager calling to seller, seller calling to customer, right? This is how if the request is floating. My request went to admin server, from admin server to seller, seller to customer. During this request chain, if something fails, I wanted to handle it in a different way. Let's say customer service is deployed in port number 90 here, okay, and it got failed. Port number 90 got failed when I call here. So admin requested here for seeing the reports. He went to admin dashboard and the call went here. From here the call went to here. From here the request is going here until this port wherever it is running. Now, customer service reported a error. Customer service got a error, or seller service got the error here. While seller service calling from here to customer service, it got failed. It got an exception here by saying that customer service is not available. Whatever customer service you are requesting, that is not available. So, in case if I get an exception, instead of giving exception back to the admin, I want to retry. Maybe because of huge number of requests or because of it is busy, right? Your call might getting failing here. Sometimes, right, when you deploy your applications in cloud, if they get concurrent many users request, right, any server will have some limit. Concurrent users, it may accept to 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. Consider already customers are there. 16 million customers came as big billion days started, right? So during that season, right, many customers make it the service. So as customers are busy here in the service may not respond properly here. So in case if it is not responding immediately for admin reports, right, now definitely they would be working on this part because this sale is happening, right? Amazon, if you see, they have some offers, and they announced a special sale here for 10 weeks or 10 days or 1 week. So during this sale, huge number of customers flow they will get here. So all that requests will go to the customer service. So customer UI to customer service, there are 16 plus millions concurrent requests coming. There it is busy. It may not respond properly to the seller service. So as soon as seller service not able to call it, will he need to report exception to admin by saying that connection not available or the response not getting, or else still it need to wait for longer time here until it allows. It need not to immediately. As soon as customer service is busy in seller service, you may send a response back to the admin UI by saying that now large number of customers are working there, so this is not right time to the view reports. You may send some message, or else you may do retry also from here. In case if this is not working, if this port is not working, Still, admin needs some reports. So for that reports, using CQRS, if you implemented one more customer repository, one more customer application here, only for admin reports. So something customer reports application you created. So this repository job is, or this application job is, it will read only data from database, whatever customers data it have about products and all. End users are coming, but admin needs customers information, how much they purchased today during the sale, how is their sale, did they got any profit out of it. All that records I want to get on the daily basis or on hourly basis, I want to see them here. So maybe using CQRS, as a using right query pattern, if you implemented one repository, maybe the seller service, let's say first it is hitting this one, and if it is getting failure, maybe I can call during that exception, right, another service, like a failover. Instead of failing my request, I may find alternate service. I'll redirect my request to alternate service. From there, I'll get response back to my application. So something like that, if you want to add to your application, you need to use this circuit breaker principle. Okay, you need to use circuit breaker. So that helps you to Hystrix I am using here. Hystrix circuit breaker. So this circuit breaker will help you to do that retries. We can configure retry interval. Many things you can do here actually when it and when you get fail here, right? Let's say I call customer service and it getting failed here. Maybe you can wait for 1 or 2 more seconds and you can make a call again here. You can put that retry interval also. And how many times you want to retry here. Maybe in one request it may fail, or it may success in second request, or in a third request. As it is busy, it's okay if I wait here next 5 requests. For next 10 seconds, I will wait here and continuously I'll re-request it for every next 2 seconds. So that 2 seconds delay also you can put here, and a repeated interval also you can put here. Like 5 times I wanted to repeat request, 5 times I want to make a request here, and a repeated interval for again 2 seconds. Right, 5 times I want to request. If it getting failed, after five attempts also, if it gets fails, okay, I can redirect it to the alternate one, or I can send a proper error message. So you can put retry intervals, as well as you can put during retry also how much gap you want for one retry to another retry. Still, if you are not succeeded with that, and if you want to call a alternate method to handle it in a different way, you can call it. So if you see, we have example here. I have a school service and I have student service. So my school service, let's say I have student service here. Let me rename them and show you the flow. A small example, right, to make you easy to understand. Student, student, student. Okay. Same thing we can apply to our application as well. Okay. During deployment, we can always put this retry pattern also there. See here, I have a simple application, student controller I have. So this student controller giving a simple response back. Simple controller I have here. So here I have a request to get student details. When I enter a school name, right, some school name I'll give here. Now using that school name from a static map, I'm getting it, not connecting with any database. There is a map object I have. So here I have a few records here. Few records I have here. Let's say class 7, location class 5 from ABC school. or little flower. What will I have here? Something HC school. So I have two records here, two schools records. So in one school I have one list, few students I have here. In another school object I have another list. Okay, the static data I wanted to forward based on the school name. If I enter SE school, so it need to return these two records, and if I enter little flower, it need to send these two records. A static map I am returning. Okay, adding them into a student list here. I'm getting a list, and that list adding it into student object and just returning it back. Just returning it back. If students are not available, if students list is not available, means if the school is not available, then saying not found. If school is available, directly we are returning it. Same list we are returning it here. So now who is calling this? This student service is called by school service. Okay, one school microservice I have here. I have school details only, school employees data, that all I am maintaining. Students data I am maintaining here. Now students data getting called from school service. Here in the dashboard I want to call get school details. So I want to enter a school name and I want to get all the school and their students details. So from here the call is going to call student and get data method. I have a service here making a call to that service method. That service is making a internally REST call. I created one REST template here. Using REST template, I am making a call, get call, right? Using exchange, I am giving that school URL here and mentioning which method it is. And do I need to pass any input? Yes, you need to pass school name as an input. So parameterized type reference you need to use, and you should pass here. What you need to pass? You need to pass your school name as a path parameter. So this is the path parameter, right? That path parameter I'm giving here. Whatever input I got from the uh, s- this service. Here school name I will enter. That same name I'm sending it to this service also. Now finally I'm getting response back. What it will give as a response? From there I'll be getting a response back. What response I'll get? List of objects. I'll get it, right. Am I getting list here? School name and the school details I need to get. Maybe as a JSON you will be seeing that here. Let's see. A JSON list object I'll get, or else I can put um, in the exchange method, right? The response type also I can put so that I'll get the same value. School name as an input giving, and the call will go here. It will bring the response back. What we have there, and I make a call, get student controller. Usually it will return list of student details. List to response it need to get there. We'll see. Maybe as a JSON they are bringing it here, or else in the exchange method, the class response type also we can put after entity, right? We can put this. So here, if you want to get it into list, you can mention that list here, student list. So for that reason, again, you need a student object here. Then you need to return that list here. So the list type we can mention. As I don't have that bin, it's okay. Let's see a simple string as a response. Now here the agenda is I wanted to fail this internally, intentionally. I want to fail it. On upon failure of this, I want to execute a fallback method. So I have a fallback method here. As soon as it gets failed, I want to send a default response. I want to send this default response here. So here, right, in this fallback method, before calling this fallback method, you may put the retry interval also. There are so many properties we have. ignore exceptions, group key, command property, and do we have any retry here? Historics properties we can pass, command historics properties, default fallback, by default if you want to put, or else fallback method, ignore exceptions in case if you are getting some exceptions during that exceptions, if you don't want to retry, if that exception is genuine, I don't want to retry it, all such we can configure here. So for now, simple fallback method I have, a simple fallback method I have. When this is gets fails, then only fallback method will call. For now, I'm not going to disturb this as well. Let me run these two applications in debug mode. Okay, one is running in port number 8098 and the other service is running in port number 9098. So let me start 8098 first. So application is getting started. Inaccessible object class loader. Okay, let me see. I got it. Go to build path and check what version you have. So let me add standard VM Java 8 also. It is working on 1.8 standard version. Let me add it. Finish. Now run your application on 1.8. So compiler page. So compiler also setting back to 1.8. Now it's looking good. Maven also looking fine. Apply refresh. Here also let me do the same. JDK 1.8. Obviously this compiler also would be same. Just a minute. Okay, cool. The compiler path is not correct. Package name mismatch created that issue. Okay, let's build it first and see if build went fine. Then you can run it. Clean install. You have this. Keep it. Run it. So build is running. So build went to success. Now you may start it. It's almost, yeah. Okay. So the Tomcat is running on 9098. See, are you able to call that method or not? So which method we have here in our controller? We have with the school little flower. I have data. So as soon as I call this URL, school name not available. So no data found. If I enter proper school name here, little flower, it is giving little flower students data. Now instead of calling from 9098, this is my client only. Consider like your customer service. This service is running fine. Now let me run admin service, which is calling the customer service. Consider the school is like admin and student service is like a customer one. Now let me start this application and call that application URL as well. That is running in a different port. So now second application also getting running. School service getting started. I see this is running in 9098. What URL I have here? Get school details slash school name. Okay. So here I am calling a different URL. I have not given proper school name. So what happened? The call went to from school to student service. From student service, this is the response it received. For this, there is no school for that name. Now see, we given little flower and there is a HC school. Here we are using 9098, but here we are using sorry 8098 and here it is 9098. So from 9098, I am trying to call that HC school from here. Now the request went to this service. From this service to another service, the request dispatched via REST template. So normal flow executing student details it is getting. Till here everything looking good. Now if they do some changes, if they do some changes from the student side. So in student service controller they changed the URL something. Instead of get student school details for schools, just one character got changed that is not informed to other party. Some updates happen to this application but that is not being informed. So now I'll be calling students at starting student service again, and we didn't informed about this new URL change. New URL change not been informed. Now same HC school name giving from 9098 from the school service I am calling student. Now run it. Now actually earlier I used to get responses like normal flow. If school data available, school data. If school data not available, no school name found, something I got. Now instead of that, I got a different message. Circuit breaker enabled, no response from student service. At this moment, service will be short with the timestamp. Instead of giving a bad error page, it is giving a proper response. From where you got that response? So as we are configuring here in student service, right? In student service, the call is going to the service class. In the service class, just I mentioned one more annotation on top of service, historics command. Historics command I configured here. In this historics command, I given a fallback method name. When usually this fallback method will execute, fallback methods will execute when there is an exception in normal flow. As soon as rested employee not found this URL, right? When it is not found this URL, definitely it will get error message. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Yeah. So I want to inform one thing to you. Okay. End of the session, I'll tell you. Okay. Now, so here the URL itself is wrong. So it is failing. So as soon as it get failed, right, it will throw exception. Definitely, it will throw exception saying that there is a problem in the call. So in case of that exception, instead of failing your method, the call is going to another method. So from here it is making a response, creating a response and sending it back. Now in this historics command, let me see. Let's see. Retry configuration. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Fallback method called. That is fine. Usually in resilience for J, right, there are alternative APIs also. Resilience API. There we have all this retry, uh, circuit breaker annotations. In new API we have, so we can use them as well. But both or all are for retry, both enable retry annotation. Yeah, maybe the similar we have in newer version, so we can configure it. Before calling fallback method, you may enable retry, enable circuit breaker we added anyway. Restricts also enabled. Restricts dashboard also enabled. Yeah, so don't worry about it. In newer version, you can see a retry annotation also. Retry you can add the retry. How many times you want to retry, you can configure, and for how many, after how many minutes you want to retry. Everything we can configure here. In the configurations, we see it in a newer version. Okay, so this is old version 1, and to enable this historics command, just you need to add the dependencies here. To enable Hystrix, add Hystrix Spring Cloud Hystrix dependencies, Spring Cloud Starter Hystrix, and the Hystrix dashboard also included. We'll tell you what is the dashboard and how to enable it for your application. Just on top of your Spring Boot application, just mention enable Hystrix, and enable circuit breaker. Enable Hystrix dashboard usually will create Hystrix dashboard. For that, you need not to do anything. Just your application is running on 8098, right? On 8098, you can open your Hystrix also. Localhost 8098. Hystrix dashboard also you can open it. 8098 only, right? Student service. Oh, sorry. It should be school service. Yeah. So this is how Hystrix dashboard we will get. What is this picture? Okay. So maybe a retry for retries or failovers or for troubleshooting they given this. So from this Hystrix dashboard you can monitor. Okay, you can monitor by just giving your application URL here, and you can see how that is working. Maybe right, your student service is not working. 908098 or simple 9098 also should be fine. 9098. Yeah, you can pass this URL here and test it, monitor for it. Unable to connect. So it is saying this is not available. Maybe school service is available. Mention school service URL and enter it here. Unable to connect, short circuited, error, then volume. Maybe continuously it is loading. So when you see right, when everything is good, maybe it will show the dashboard here. Let's say if you correct your code here from your student service, when you mention the proper URL itself here, and when you restart it, yeah, you may start school service, which is now properly connected, and enter H key, HC school name. Right, so yeah, still it is running. Yeah, now I got the data here. Districts dashboard. it is continuously failing. But here it should be able to show some metrics. Okay, metrics dashboard. Yeah, it's okay. So here this is given for monitoring how many requests are coming and how they are reaching out to the subsystem, and how it is able to execute it there or not. All that information we will be getting here. Uh, Use this Hystrix stream to get to know that. So it will show you all the available commands and the data, what it got so far, how many failed, how many succeeded, all that information you have. So it is continuously monitoring them. So this may lead to some performance issues. So carefully you can apply. If at all required, you may apply them. If not, you may ignore it. If not, you may ignore it. No problem. Yeah, I think we can apply this feature. Uh, Maybe if there are any use cases, right? During failures in our e-commerce, if you want to retry, uh, we can put it so that end user will not see any issues with our application. Okay. So if possible, we will apply it. Okay. Maybe in next session, what I will do, I'll create one application UI and backend. I'll deploy them into AWS and show you with one gateway cloud config. One admin UI I'll deploy, cloud config, gateway, and backend admin service. With these four combinations, we will see AWS deployment. Okay, so I'll set up AWS for it, and I'll bring them into live. Okay, that we will see on Monday's session. Okay, so take break. I'll take break and I'll set up AWS account. That is in progress. Once everything is ready, right, we will see it there.